Alright, I'm going to show you in this screencast how we can borrow Excel functions in VBA to create user-defined functions. Unfortunately, in just regular Microsoft Excel, there is no range function to calculate the range of a data array. For example, the max minus the min. So in this case, the max is 10 and the min is -9. So we would like to be able to easily tell that the range is 19. Fortunately, there's the min function, which will tell you the minimum of a range, and the maximum function. So we can borrow those, just like we can borrow all sorts of Excel functions. We can borrow those min and max functions to create a user-defined function called range. So I'm over here in Excel. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a module, and let's go ahead and insert a new module. So I've named this range. I've dimmed my range as a range, and range is going to be a double. So there is no max function built into VBA, but what we can do is we can borrow Excel's max function and Excel's min function. And when I do that, we end up with the output of the function, which is range, is now I'm using application.worksheetfunction.max of the range. The range is the argument to the range function, so RNG is the argument. Minus the min. So we're borrowing that from Excel when we do application.worksheet function. You could also just leave off the application, so that works since we're just associated with Excel, which is the application. So either with or without the application, regardless, we create the range. So let's go ahead and see if this works. So I'm going to type in range of this array, and we end up with 19. So that's how you can borrow Excel functions. You can borrow all sorts of Excel functions. Excel has all sorts of built-in functions that you can, not all of them, but a lot of them you can borrow when you're in VBA. Let's do another quick example here. Earlier we had, in one of my screencasts, I created a user-defined function cone volume to calculate the volume of this. And in so doing, I had defined pi in terms of 4 times the arctangent of 1, which is a good way to define what pi is. Alternatively, what I can do is I can use the worksheet function, pi, and we're gonna get exactly the same thing that we did earlier, but instead of defining pi as 4 times the arctangent of 1, we have just used the worksheet function. Finally, I just want to let you know how you can deal with logarithms in VBA. So log, L-O-G, in VBA is the natural log. So if you want to calculate something like the base 10 log of something, so the log of a number, I'm just going to call this B, or let's do just X. The way you would do that in VBA is to calculate the change of base theorem. So the change of base theorem, the log base b of x is any logarithm of the number divided by the logarithm of the base. Since log in VBA means natural log, we could just say the log of x divided by the log of the base. So that's how, if we had this term x, we could calculate the log base 10 using VBA. Alternatively, we can use the worksheet function .log10. So we can just borrow the log10 function from Microsoft Excel. So that's how you can borrow Excel functions in VBA.